Okay, guys, this got real. This happened in Venezuela. This is hot topic. We know the capture of the president of the previous president of Venezuela, Maduro. He's in the United States. We held up on charges this next week. Uh, but we need to hear. You got so many views out here. But let's talk for a person that's from there that understand that's understand the state of Venezuela. I met a lot of people when I was in Texas that was Venezuelan citizens that was talking about the other side. But when I came back home to Washington, it was like a lot of people was like on the total opposite, talking about Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that. It was big. It's bigger than that. And then bigger than the president of the United States, but it's bigger than what's going on. And it ain't just about the oil. It ain't just about. It's about geopolitics, about the strategic location of Venezuela and what it has to offer. It's about what's really happening under the undercurrent of Venezuela political parties and what's happening, what state Venezuela is in right now, the citizens of Venezuela. And all you can know is for people that's lived there, that's down there, that's going through it, that have an intellectual acuity to explain what's happening in Venezuela. So this guy breaks down a lot. So without further ado, let's listen to what he got to say. This is very important, man. This is going to get a different view of Venezuela and what's happening and what the president and the government is doing to help these people down in Venezuela. So without further ado, let's listen to this young man talk. He got passion, he got passion, he got passion. It's amazing.
As a Venezuelan American, I got some shit to say. My family, my parents, my sister, my extended family, all lost everything. Their work, their savings, their investments, gone. Wiped out by a narco dictatorship that has held Venezuela in a death grip for over 25 years. And what happened to my family has happened to millions. And yes, millions. The Venezuelan exodus is the second largest displacement crisis on earth after Syria. This is not just a tragedy. It is one of the great humanitarian disasters of our time. But the suffering doesn't end there. This regime has jailed hundreds of political prisoners. Thousands have been murdered simply for speaking out. More than a third of the population has fled. 1/3. Not for better opportunities or for the American dream, but to survive, to live. Because staying often means death. And while the world may see Venezuela as a collapsed state, what it is in reality is an occupied one. Our territory, our natural resources, and our institutions have been overrun by hostile foreign powers. Iranian militias, Chinese corporations, Russian intelligence, all exploiting our country with impunity. Venezuela is no longer just a local crisis. It is now a geopolitical threat that endangers the entire Western Hemisphere.
Guys, did y'all hear that? Did you hear this? This is a person that's on the ground. This person has families from there. This person has lived it. So you don't hear these people talking about this. This guy has a lot of passion, but he's telling you what's happening. He's telling you how it's a narco state. He's telling you how it's a state where a lot of other countries are invading for their own geopolitical purposes, strategic purposes for the location of Venezuela, to all other things. But it's not just to have the be able to attack the U.S. possibility. Not saying they are, but being in a position, strategic location. We don't want our back door open like what's happening with Ukraine and Russia. What Russia was saying about that, but Russia don't mind coming to my back door through Venezuela, and now he got his foothold into Venezuela. He just stayed there. He put Russia in there, put China in there, he put Iran in there. So all these nations are have their own purpose. And if you notice, most of these nations are communist nations. That's amazing. So without further ado, let's continue. Listen to what this man got to say. It ain't just about oil. So when all these people try to put out there just about oil and about president taking over, but watch how he explains it in detail what's really going on.
It has become a launch pad for an authoritarian expansion in the Americas. And in the midst of all of this, one woman has dared to lead the charge for freedom. Maria Corina Machado. In 2024, against every odd, she led a peaceful democratic uprising that won the election. Her team smuggled physical voting receipts out of the country, hard proof of victory that the regime tried to bury. Her courage has lit a fire in the hearts of millions of Venezuelans desperate to believe that change is still possible. But now some have questioned her decision to dedicate her Nobel Prize to Donald Trump. Okay, I get that. But here's the truth. It was a brilliant strategic move in the global chessboard of politics. Maria Corina is no fool. She knows exactly the kind of man Trump is. She knows how much he campaigned for it, loudly and relentlessly, to win that very same prize. She knows how symbolic and personal that recognition is to him. And precisely because of that, she understood that this gesture might be the thing that keeps his attention focused on Venezuela at a time when U.S. presence and pressure in the Caribbean is rising. She didn't dedicate that award to flatter him. She did it to protect and preserve the one kind of power that could help shift the course of history. Because for her, this isn't about pride. It's not about optics. It's about freedom. And let's be very clear. Maria Corina is not asking for the U.S. to invade Venezuela. She's not campaigning for war. Venezuela is already invaded. It is held hostage by a narco state, overrun by foreign agents and enemies of democracy, Russians, Iranians, Chinese, all operating freely, weaponizing our land and resources to expand their influence across Latin America. What Maria Corina is calling for, what millions of Venezuelans are praying for, is the support of the only military on earth capable of countering that threat and helping to free our people. This is not imperialism. This is liberation. She's not playing partisan games. She's playing for Venezuela's life. Because this
Do y'all get this? Do y'all get this deepness? Do you get the passion behind this young man? You see where he's coming from. He's breaking it down. He's like he's cutting all them little things that both these partisans play, left and right play. He's talking about his country, his people. He's talking about a person that represent want freedom, liberty, want justice, and and reaching out to the power that exists that can give that justice to his nation. And he's really crying out for that for for his people, you know. And you got to understand that. You got to understand. I understand what the man is what he's saying, and I feel what I feel. I feel the man. I feel the man passion about his people, and you got to be able to understand the people and relate to them where where he's speaking at right now. And I relate to the man. I understand repression, depression, and control, and he's coming from that to let you know he wants change in his lands. He wants change in this country. What are we? How are we going to support? We're the only power on this earth that has the capability to go in there. We showed that when we got Maduro out of there. You know. So yeah, this more than don't let these other magicians out here that's dealing with Democrat, Republican. We're looking at a whole country, a whole nation. What's going on down there? Let's finish up what he got to say. What's your opinion? Leave this reaction. Leave a comment down below. If you agree with him, if you hear what I said, if you got something to make a statement about what I'm feeling, I'm thinking it's the liberation of a nation. To take the people that's in America or Venezuela back to their country and be able to vote, or the people that vote right now, and to and protect that nation, to keep its democratic ideals and concepts of freedom and liberty, not a socialist, not a communist, but freedoms. So what's your opinion on that? Leave a comment down below.
This isn't theoretical. This isn't academic. This is life or death. So yes, it is time to honor her bravery, but more importantly, it is time for the world, especially the free world, to recognize what's at stake. The fight for Venezuela is a fight for freedom, for democracy, and for the stability of an entire continent. If we truly care about liberty, human dignity, and peace in the Americas, then Venezuela's fight must matter to all of us. Que viva Venezuela, que viva Maria Corina Machado. Okay.
That's it, guys. That's what do you think, and what do you feel about this state, this young man, and what he stands for, and how he feels about his nation and what's happening right now in in the country of Venezuela, and how we just came in there and toppled it by getting the president out here to be held responsible for his actions. Was that a good idea or not? I think it was a great idea. I think it was a perfect ideal that we had to show.
Take a look at your
Uh, just show what really was happening down there in Venezuela. And now that we stepped in to help the people, let's watch this for a second and show that we did capture him, and he's held in American jail. Gonna be in court next coming up week.
screen. We start tonight with this new video of ousted Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro in handcuffs being walked into the DEA office in New York. Maduro processed and fingerprinted tonight, now preparing to face criminal charges here in the U.S. American troops conducted a dramatic early morning operation, striking military targets in Venezuela, then capturing President Maduro and his wife. NBC's Chris Pallone now shows us how it happened and what comes next for the South American nation.
Tonight, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro is in New York in federal custody hours after a surprise early morning U.S. military raid on his compound in Caracas.
Late last night and early today, at my direction, the United States Armed Forces conducted an extraordinary military operation in the capital of Venezuela.
The Pentagon says President Trump gave the order to arrest Maduro just before 11 Friday night. Troops from 20 military bases and 150 U.S. aircraft took part in the mission, which saw an elite strike force arrive at Maduro's compound around 1 this morning.
This mission was meticulously planned, drawing lessons from decades of missions over the last many years.
The president says with Maduro deposed, the U.S. will run Venezuela indefinitely.
We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition.
Venezuela has the world's largest oil reserves.
We're going to be taking out a tremendous amount of wealth out of the ground, and that wealth is going to the people of Venezuela and people from outside of Venezuela that used to be in Venezuela. And it goes also to the United States of America in the form of reimbursement for the damages caused us by that country.
Venezuelans around the world taking to the streets to celebrate the end of Maduro's reign.
Everybody's just happy because everybody has been waiting for democracy and change in Venezuela.
But on Capitol Hill, congressional Democrats and some Republicans are demanding answers from the Trump administration about why they were kept in the dark. Many calling the military mission illegal.
Now they're saying they were going to occupy a foreign country, we're going to run it from the United States, and that we're going to steal their oil. In what world did this administration get any of that permission ever for them to do that?
Secretary of State Marco Rubio said briefing Congress before the attack would have jeopardized the mission to get Maduro. Chris Pallone, NBC News.
Yeah, if we'd have told them, we got everybody knowing America, they all this administration and the last minister, it's been so much corruption that we've been seeing all in the media on both sides of the aisle. So of course, if they would have told them about a military, that's the executive branch. You got three forms of government. We don't need to know you right now what our immediate actions are. The executive branch have to do to tell you after or tell you during. But if you told him before, they probably would have called and warned him, and he got out of there and got away and all this other stuff. And so yes, of course, there's military campaigns or activities taking place in the dark with only certain people that know about it to keep it protective. So of course this happens in the military. So you're not gonna know everything right away, and that's the way. Like in the three chambers of government, you're not gonna know everything from the
Maduro and his
government.
wife are expected to make their first court appearances as early as Monday. Now, the military operation today did cause a spike in flight delays and cancellations, especially around the Caribbean and Latin America. Those have since started to lift, although airports in Miami and Mexico are still facing delays tonight.
So now you guys see what happened. I hope you can take this information and learn from this one. I'm trying to support you and give you good information. Um, because it was definitely needed. I'm gonna stop it right here. Tell me what you think. Leave a comment down below. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think.